in 2020, a group of fanboys that love all things pop culture have been accused of murdering a podcast that they did not commit. These fanboys escaped and now are hiding during a pandemic to lay low. Today, still wanted by the fandoms, they survive as fanboys of fortune. If you are a fanboy or a fangirl and you have a problem, then you need the F Team. With your hosts, the Jack Nerd, the Jerky Man, Lieutenant Dan, and of course, Starpool. Welcome to the F Team Podcast.
Are you gonna yell Shazam?
I'll give it a climax there.
What? This guy's right to it for 6%. F Team Podcast.
How's that?
It was good.
Okay, we're recording.
Yeah, we're good. We are recording.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm your host for tonight, Tyler Pickup. Excuse me, sorry, my voice is not working. Tyler Pickup here, hosting the F Team Podcast episode 2. Sorry, I'm new to this, so if I kind of screw up, I do apologize. But yeah, hosting episode 2, Dino Quarantine Reunion and Wakanda Eternity. I'm here with Mr. John Hanson. How are you doing, sir? And what did you get this past month?
I am doing pretty good. You know, I'm hanging in there, still alive. My girlfriend and I were doing really well, and just surviving. What I got the past month was definitely NPM Starscream. I got a KO for a custom Quantum Realm suit for from Avengers Endgame, and I got some other things, but they're not that important.
Oh, come on, boners are important.
What's that?
I said boners are important.
He's not wrong.
Nope. But
alrighty then. Well, you just heard our guest, Mr. What do you want me to call you again? Zero?
Well, yeah, you can call me Zero, xtrazero, call me Jordan. Some folks may know me as the host of Figure Action. You can check us out on YouTube every Thursday night over on the Figure Action YouTube channel, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I know you guys are Central, but we're fancy with the Eastern Time. And not to show my podcast, but you want to check us out. If you're listening to this, we're recording on September 19th. But next Thursday, we're going to do a drawing, and if you're collecting G.I. Joe Classified series, so next Thursday being the 24th, we'll have a separate video on the 25th. Nate's Toys and Collectibles, he is actually really awesome. He's a good friend of mine, and he has donated a Cobra Island Baroness to us to give away to one lucky viewer. So we'll be doing a drawing for that. Enter to win. You got to be in the continental U.S., 18 years of age or older. Subscriber to Figure Action, like Nate's Toys and Collectibles. We'll do that drawing. And then the following week, we're actually doing a second drawing. That one is provided by me, and it's another G.I. Joe giveaway with the Cobra Commander, who's a little bit hard to find right now, and a Figure Action t-shirt. So same rules, except you don't have to like Nate's. You should like Nate's Toys and Collectibles. You really should. Awesome dude. Carries a bit of everything. He started up his own shop this year. everything from Masterpiece, Third Party, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series. If you like it, Nate probably carries it, so go check him out. Yeah, so I'll be giving away a Cobra Commander and a figure action shirt. So we have a lot of fun over there. If you know T-Man 978, he is one of my co-hosts. He's probably the most famous person on that show. And check us out. As for me, I'm doing very well. I'm actually starting a staycation as of Friday afternoon, so yesterday afternoon. So the only thing that I have planned for that is landscaping and catching up on a backlog of video games and spending some quality time with the dogs. I know Chris is a fan of my dogs. And then as for what I got, well, boy, I got a laundry list of things. So how about I tell you kind of the, I don't know, we'll do the top 5 maybe coolest things I got. So like John, I also got the movie Masterpiece Starscream, which I like quite a bit. I also got the Mastermind Creations, I think is it Probus, who's their Brawl. So I was able to complete their...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice figure, and I think if anybody's looking to get a Bruticus, I think that set is my favorite. And I've messed with the Unique Toys. I own the Zeta, and I also own the MMC. I think the MMC is the best. I was fortunate enough to get one of the Cobra Troopers from the. I'm going all in on this GI Joe line, and my buddy Matt was lucky enough. He lives out in a northern part of the state where there's less of a scalper issue, so he was able to get me one. I got the NECA Super Shredder, and then I guess I'll say I'm caught up on Siege and Earthrise, but the other cool thing I got was the TT Hong Lee. I believe it's called Phantom. The box is all... I mean, they're a KO Gundam company that's getting into Transformers. So let me hold this big old box up. The Red Falcon, which is the T-Beast Starscream. And if you don't know what T-Beast is, basically there was an artist who took all G1 characters, or at least a good portion of them, and redesigned them as mechanical beasts. And so I got their Starscream, and it's all right. For a freshman effort from third party, it's okay, but it's made like a third party figure 5 years ago, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It doesn't have like all the modern updates that third party has today. And for this company, they're a KO. They primarily did KO Gundams, so their pedigree is really showing through. There's a lot of design elements that are similar to Gundams, like the way the joints are done. It transforms kind of like a Wing Gundam would, or maybe close to like what Zeta Gundam was. And it turns into this weird-looking bird. But as a display piece, it's really nice. I will say, I was like, I'm going to do the 5 coolest things I got. But I will say, if you are looking for a good KO, what is it? Transart, I think, is the name of the company. They're actually doing upscaled Masterpiece scale Transmetals from Beast Wars, and that Optimus Primal is amazing. And I would say if you're looking for something cool and you're into Beast Wars and you had to pick, go with that skateboard gorilla figure and just kind of don't get the Starscream unless you just want a really interesting display piece. But yeah, sorry, I'm not gonna hog the mic too long. That's kind of just some of the cool things I've got lately.
Nice.
Yeah. Because the movie Masterpiece Starscream is really cool. I mean, I don't own it because if I got into MPM Transformers, I would struggle basically to keep up. And
it's not hard unless you're in it for like. So the real struggle is if you get into the third party stuff, because then you're really in the rabbit hole. The nice thing about MPM is that they're way cheaper than the Takara and I guess Hasbro Masterpiece. because it's Hasbro China that's doing the MPN line, and really you could just get all the first movie characters.
Yeah, because after NPM Ratchet, you have all 5 of the 07 Autobot casts. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I have seen reviews of the Starscream. It is pretty cool that you can articulate the jaw and everything like that. But all the stuff that you said that you got, or at least the more awesome pieces, sound really awesome. So.
Can we play Everything is Awesome, or is that going to get a copyright strike?
I would say that may get us a copyright strike, so let's So let's not risk it.
I do. We got a copyright strike, or not a copyright strike, but we got a flag for playing a public domain song, and YouTube is fucking brutal these days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they really need to cool it. Honestly, the copyright laws in general need to cool it. But I won't get into that because that's a whole other topic.
Fair use.
So, anyway, Mr. Wesley, well, I forgot how to pronounce your name. Chris, how are you, and what did you get this month?
Well, I'm doing okay. I got coronavirus a couple weeks ago. I had a quarantine. Yeah, I was not a happy camper.
You're like that kid on Charlie Brown. I got a rock.
I got a rock. I got E-Rock. Yeah, man. Fucking had corona, so I was out for 2 weeks. And then right before that, though, I did get... what did I get? Oh, I got Siege of Cybertron, Nightbird, which is pretty cool. And then I got a couple of the Hasbro Kenner Star Wars retro figures. I got Luke, Han, Chewbacca, and Princess Leia. Those are pretty fucking cool. And then I finally have every single vehicle and character from the original 1982 G.I. Joe toy line for my G.I. Joe collection. So that portion is pretty much done now.
Nice.
And I got all of that before. I got all of that for my collection before I started feeling like shit with COVID. So.
I didn't see it in the notes. I'm going to ask now. Did you see those retro Joes that they're doing? They're the 3 3/4 inch, but they're basically reissues of the old Joes, but they have new updated face sculpts.
I did, and the packaging and the graphics look great, but if you're going to do a retro figure, the figure itself should have, like, the original points of articulation, same size and everything, They did that with Kenner, but I don't get why they couldn't do that with G.I. Joe. They did that with the Kenner Star Wars figures, and they did that with the Kenner Ghostbusters figures.
I could have sworn, and I could be wrong here, but I could have sworn they resized at least Chewbacca in the retro Kenner figure line. Like I said, I'm probably mistaken, but I could have sworn I saw something on Yak Face's Instagram about that. But the retro figures aren't for me. But if I had to get one, it would obviously be R2D2 because, if you know me, I'm an R2 guy, I'm an astromech droid guy, or droid guy in general, so R2 would be one to get, and I'd probably keep him carded just because, especially if it's a really nice card, so. Alright, well, everything you got, except for the Rona, sounds awesome, and, I'm glad that everyone could add to their collection, so. So, Dan, are you with us? How are you? And what did you get this month? Or this last month?
I'm barely here, but yeah, I'm here. You're Schrodinger's cast member. I'm here and not here. I didn't really get anything updated on my collection. I did get a Family Guy box set.
I guess it's a party pack, but that's pretty it.
Shut up, man.
But nothing on my retro game collection, though.
Oh, you didn't get anything?
No. The one game place I went to didn't really have anything that was on my list, and I haven't gone to Madison since this COVID shit, so.
Hey, I just realized last weekend we were supposed to go to that UTV or ATV trail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just remember we were supposed to do that, but we couldn't do that because I was just getting done with quarantine. Yeah, and then I realized oh, now I know why he wanted to go, because it was his birthday last weekend. So happy birthday, Dan!
Oh, happy late birthday, Dan!
Happy birthday, Dan!
Or it's my birthday.
All right. Now I did not say.
My birthday. Jack shit.
All right. Well, I wanted you guys to, say what you got and everything like that first. So real quick, I'm just going to go over what I got. I got a Geonosis battle droid to dye the ankle and arm joints black for my custom battle droid original character Medic, because I tried to paint them and sand them and then paint them, and the black kept chipping off. It was pissing me off. So when people told me about dyeing plastic with fabric dye, I jumped on the chance to do it, and it worked. It took some experimenting, but yeah. So I got that, and I got Medic all done, and he's good looking now. I got Marvel Legend, or actually before I get to that, I finally got my SH Figure Arts Rescue from Endgame in the mail, and she's pretty cool. I like her drone, and I can't wait to take photos of her and my Harley Quinn themed astromech droid H2Q5, because Rescue's drone was kind of the inspiration for H2 having like little drones pop out of her head and body, and we'll kind of get to that when we get to the custom spotlight, because that's who I'm showcasing. And so yeah, I can't wait to take photos of them kind of doing stuff and with their drones, and the Pepper Potts head sculpt's not the best, but it's definitely better in person. And then
if you see the stuff like what Gwyneth Paltrow is doing with Goop, like there's a great JonTron video, like her business outside acting. You'll be like, yeah, no, I don't want to look like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. And then speaking of whether faces look awesome or not, I got the Deadpool 2 Marvel Legends Cable, and he's kind of clunky to mess with, only because of the kind of ammo vest and the what is it called, the ammo magazine sculpted onto the bulletproof vest.
I guess the bandolier.
Yeah, and then the poncho can sometimes get in the way, but other than that, he poses really well. And you get like you get his rifle, you get 2 trigger finger hands, you get 2 fists. You get for his rifle, you get 2 grenade launcher attachments, and then you get his pistol. So, and it may not be dead on Josh Brolin, but it's like it may not be like 100%, but
to the ballpark.
Yeah, it's far into the ballpark, because it looks so much like him that it's like, you look at it and it's like, oh my god, it looks like a tiny Josh Brolin. So
I like pictures of it next to Thanos.
Yeah, I'm going to take some photos of him and Thanos too. And I have some fun stuff planned for Cable photos. So, but anyway, I don't want to rag on too long about that. So let's move on to Newsflash. The Mandalorian season 2 premieres in October 30th. What did you guys think about the trailer?
I saw it. It was interesting. I got to literally sit down and watch the entire show before season 2 comes on because I'm not big into Star Wars, but after I saw that season 2 trailer, I'm like, you know what, this actually I'm going to give this another shot. So I'm definitely going to have to sit down and watch it through start from the very beginning to the end of season 1, and then watch season 2 because, with all the current Star Wars media that's been going on lately of Kathleen Kennedy and her stupid bitch ass, whatever the House of Mouse is planning on next, it feels like something like The Mandalorian season 2 would be a breath of fresh air, especially if I'm not saying Star Wars is struggling, but I guess we'll see what happens with season 2.
Yeah, and the I forget her name. I forget her last name. Sasha from like the WWE wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know how to call it. But she was there cloaked. I think she's going to play Sabine Wren from Star Wars Rebels. Because if you look at season 7 of the Clone Wars in Ahsoka's story arc, granted it's not the best, blah 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 blah, it sucks. The Trace and Roth are annoying. I heard it all before. But Bo-Katan and I think they were the Night Owls.
Mm-hmm.
The Mandalorian loyalists. I think they switched from Death Watch to just Mandalorian loyalists. I could be wrong though, but they were cloaked, and then Sasha's character is cloaked as well, just like Bo-Katan and 2 of her Mandalorian buds. So that leads me to think Sasha's going to play Sabine Wren or some kind of Mandalorian in this in the next season. There were actually rumors about Sabine Wren coming in, and there was also rumors that Rosario Dawson was going to play Ahsoka, which I think I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wish Ashley Eckstein was live action Ahsoka, but if it can't be Ashley, I would definitely take Rosario Dawson because I think she's a really good actress. And Tamira Morrison supposedly coming back as either Boba Fett, Commander Rex, not Captain this time, Commander Rex, or maybe both.
He could play both. But I think the bigger news outside of speculation, though, I'm curious. What do you think about the rumors that Pedro Pascal's quit?
Honestly, I don't know. I hope he doesn't quit if that is true, because he's just amazing as the Mandalorian, and unless he has like a really good reason, I don't really see why.
The rumor is that he wanted more time on the show with his face exposed, which that's something that they would have to build up to, since his, we call his group of Mandalorians believes in helmet laws, while others don't. So I think that's a dumb reason to quit. I understand he wants to get his face out there, but I think he's getting opportunities left and right, and I think to be involved in the I can't really say Mandalorian's the biggest Star Wars project, but it's certainly the best received of any of the new Star Wars projects. Arguably Rogue One probably was the best received, but I think that in terms of popularity, I think that The Mandalorian's more popular than that. popular, way more popular than the sequel trilogy. And I like Solo, but not a lot of people did.
Yeah, I like Solo as well. But I mean, and I don't. While I don't see why people don't like it, I mean, it is what it is.
I can tell you why they don't like it. It's because Harrison Ford is so iconic to the road. No, I mean it's well, people want prequel stuff all the time. People have wanted a prequel Boba Fett series or movie, and there was a long period of time where people were talking about it, and there were rumors that Michael B. Jordan was going to be Boba Fett. People were like, "How's that going to work?" I'm not going to go there, but the thing is, and the Obi-Wan prequel, people have been clamoring for that ever since Ian McGregor was, brought on. But I think with the character of Han Solo, it's like Han Solo and Harrison Ford are so intertwined that having, was it Iden Elbert? Is that his name?
Probably. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I can't remember if I'm saying it right or remembering it right, but I think the biggest problem is that he wasn't Harrison Ford. He didn't look much or sound much like Harrison Ford, and so for him to come on and play a character that people have an attachment to, and let alone one that's been in 5 movies, Well,
yeah. And I didn't read the article because I don't really read articles. I'm kind of lazy like that. I just saw the thumbnail and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So, but when Solo was coming out or being produced or whatever, I did hear that Harrison Ford actually mentored the actor of Young Han for Solo. And I think that's a really if that is true and it's not just some media made up story.
I guess the challenge there is it's not a made up story, but the thing that a lot of people don't know is that Harrison Ford actually hated being in Star Wars.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So I feel like Donald Glover is a really talented actor, and
he sounded like Billy D, honestly.
Yeah, and at the Star Wars Celebration before Solo came out, there was that, and actually I was at the Star Wars Celebration in 2017. There were talks about it, and Billy D was talking about how he was meeting with Donald Glover and really talking concepts of the character, and he totally nailed Lando Calrissian. I mean, save for the fact they made Lando a homosexual in that movie.
I don't like how they made Lando pan. I will say,
he was fucking a robot. I mean, let's just put it there. I mean, that was his awkward teenage phase. I don't know if that's like the Star Wars equivalent of owning a fleshlight or not.
Probably.
They put too much into that news story to try and get attention, and I think that really backfired for him, to be honest. But I really there's a guy on YouTube that did auditions, and he looked and sounded and acted like Harrison Ford. And I had, back before Solo came out, I had a debate with a buddy, and I was like, this guy would be so much better in the role. And he's like, yeah, but at the same time, getting a better actor, you want to get somebody that's not just doing an imitation. And I was like, I get that, but isn't acting doing an imitation of someone you're not?
Technically it is, yeah.
But I like Solo, but at the end of the day, it really had no reason to exist, because they could have just done a short animated story of how Chewie met Han. And the Emilia Clarke stuff in that movie was pretty awful, to be honest.
I didn't mind her scenes, but I mean, if she wasn't in the movie, or they kind of altered him or whatever, but it depends on how they did it, but I think it would have been fine. But I mean, Darth Maul being in charge of Crimson Dawn and the Shadow Collective and all that.
You know what the worst part of that was? Is like I was like, oh, that's awesome that they legitimized Rebels and Clone Wars and bringing Darth Maul back. But like, why at the end of that intergalactic Skype call did he have to like ignite his lightsaber and throw him around with some tool? It's like, we know who you fucking are. Keep your composure.
Yeah. Maul's not the most composed character in the Star Wars universe.
It's like he turned into Space Alex Jones at the end of that.
Well, he's all there up in the head. The hamster's dead, but the wheel keeps spinning, basically.
Right, but the hamster he made.
Yeah.
What?
Because he got cut off below the waist, and when you said the hamster's dead.
He now has a robo penis.
Yeah. I
don't know why I said that. Anyway,
probably somebody in the Star Wars universe. Like, I bet if you go onto Wikipedia, because it's like, do you guys watch Red Letter Media?
No.
They're great. They do like the Mr. Plinkett videos, and they have an awesome video where it's like 10 things you didn't know about Darth Vader's suit, and like they're reading this and they're reading these articles on Wikipedia about like the most mundane things about Vader's suit, and like somebody had to go in and write these articles. So I guarantee if you go on Wikipedia, there's probably an article about somebody that designed like a prosthetic space dick.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, now that you mention it, I have a Star Wars book called The Essential Guide to Droids in Star Wars, and the second edition has a protocol droid that is supposed to look like a female, and it's implied in the description that these protocol droids were actually used for fucking. And this is before.
Nice.
Oh, you know what? I think did it have? Okay, let me ask you, Chris. The protocol droid in the book, was it pink and did it have a much more feminine shape?
Yeah, it was like a metallic.
Okay. Yes, I've seen those in the Clone Wars because they would be walking around serving the Senate building. In the Clone Wars,
yeah.
Well, so I didn't know they were also made for fucking. That's okay. So that's something new.
Let me give you the one thing. Let me give you one thing, and this is on Wikipedia, right? And this was that Red Letter Media video, right?
Yeah.
You want to know where the Anakin Skywalker surgery happened? And I'm not making this up. This is a Star Wars fact.
Okay.
The Emperor Palpatine Surgical Reconstruction Center. That's the name of the hospital where Vader had the surgery to become a cyborg.
What?
Like I say, like he was a cyborg, but to become a majority cyborg.
Yeah. Also, fun fact. Not only did Palpatine remove Anakin's tear duct, so when he tried to cry, his eyes would just burn and it would amplify his anger, to be more powerful. But also, Anakin was awake during surgery, all of it. That must have sucked. And his mask extends a lot, I think hundreds of thousands of these tiny little needles that interface with his nervous system.
Huh.
Palpatine is a fucked up dude.
Maybe Palpatine should go find those protocol droids and get his dick waxed or sucked.
Oh God.
Emperor Palpatine,
okay.
I am here to suck your dick.
Zero, could you imagine Bill Cosby being in Star Wars?
Oh no.
He doesn't like you, and I don't like you either.
Oh God.
He would just appear at Mos Eisley Cantina.
That's great. Okay, well, we went a little off the rails. So let's get back on the rails, so to speak. So yeah, trailer was awesome. I think Sasha is Sabine, and you could kind of sort of see Boba Fett in the trailer, in one of the Tatooine shots. So yeah. Anyway, okay. Filming continues for Jurassic World Domination with
Dominion.
The domination would imply that this is
Dominion. Dominion. Sorry, I read that wrong.
Jeff Goldblum.
No,
the dinosaurs, they're wearing leather and beating people with whips. Domination.
I heard whips.
I heard whips.
Then we go back to John's office. He's like, I got no.
So the other one,
Okay.
I sent it to everybody in the chat, and I sent it to James. It was a link to Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum singing on the piano. I think it was they got done filming for the day, and they were just playing and singing on the piano, and they shared it on Twitter, and I just thought that was really cool.
I told Sam that I was a great big pianist, and he said he wanted to see it.
Oh my god.
Wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? I was grabbing food.
Oh, boy.
Man, you weren't even here for the boner joke?
Oh, God damn it, Hanson.
What? I'm hungry.
I thought I had pissed him off with the boner joke. I was like, oh man, there goes Jonathan.
John's just gonna drink himself to death tonight because he's so sad.
Oh, he's nice. Like he did last time.
I got the biggest foot long that Sonic had. What did I miss?
Imagine having a roommate and they walk in saying that. That would just be so fucking disturbing.
Oh yeah.
So okay. Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum sing along on a piano, and you can watch that over on Twitter. So yeah. Adult Swim cancels Venture Bros, originally scheduled for a 8th season.
Can I go on a rant about this show?
Yeah, go for it.
So, look, this show has been on since I was in high school. I'm 35.
2004?
2004, 2003, I think, was when the pilot came out.
Yeah.
But, one, we're blessed that Adult Swim probably has canceled more shows, or probably has canceled as many shows. Well, I shouldn't say they've canceled as many shows as Fox, but they cancel a lot of shows. They cancel a lot of shows that I've enjoyed, and they put a lot of dumb shit on. And we've always been fortunate that the Venture Brothers has somehow managed to survive that shit. And I don't know whether it's the budget, because the animation in the show is very well done. But they have given that show the time slot of death. I feel like after I turned 30 and they're like, the new season of the Venture Brothers, 12:30 on Adult Swim, it's like, bruh, yeah. Why? You have this beautiful animated show and you're prioritizing fucking Family Guy reruns before your own original content? Come the fuck on. Like, I don't know what it is, whether Doc Hammer and his name's in the doc, James Urbaniak. I don't know whether those guys just don't want to sell out and they don't want to do merchandise. Because, I mean, I'm going to say something really controversial right now. I don't like Rick and Morty anymore. They sold the fuck out, and it's not fucking funny anymore. It's like predictable. It's like they've made Rick fucking OP as shit, and it's just like, I'm the smartest man in the universe, and that's like the gist of every episode. Whereas before it was like he was trying to connect with his family, and Rick was very flawed, and now it's just like, fuck, I'm gonna solve everything with a portal out of my dick hole, wubba dub dub, you know. But the Venture Brothers was so well written, and it's like they put them on at this time slot of death. So I'm assuming that there have just been a lot of dedicated fans that either DVR'd it or made the effort to watch it, because there are many nights where I'm like, oh fuck, I got to get up for work in 5 hours, and sitting there watching that show. So it frustrates the fuck out of me that Adult Swim didn't give it the time slot it needed, or try and sell some fucking t-shirts or DVDs, something. But I really hope that they find a new platform where they can, you know, if it's Hulu, if it's Netflix, somewhere where the time slot doesn't make a difference, and they're allowed to have the resources they need and keep the voice actors that they have. Because I'm sure that Patrick Warburton isn't the cheapest guy to get, even though he's not really like the most top tier voice actor. But you know, I really wish that Swim would have given the show a higher priority, because they have no one to blame for the show being less popular than themselves.
I think you have a very fair argument, and I agree with the points you made. And that was the thing I've never understood about their time slot. Like, why the fuck does it need to premiere some point between 11 and 1:30 in the morning? I don't get that. Like, you have these great original shows, you know, like Robot Chicken and especially Adventure Brothers. So, like, put those shows at a much more realistic time, because, like you said, people got to get up early in the morning for work. And I think that was one of the things that, you know, it was like they were shooting themselves in the foot. It was one of the other things that kind of brought the dirty, ugly axe down on Venture Brothers. That, and like you said, Patrick Warburton, you know, like, he's not cheap at all, I'm sure. And yeah, like, I also noticed, like, it seems like it took forever for a new season to come out.
Oh, absolutely. Years, like 3 years between the seasons of them.
Was like what, like 3 or 4 years almost before a new season came out?
I wonder too if they were a little reluctant with merchandising because of the fact that Adult Swim. I don't know if you guys remember Space Ghost or the character Zorak. C. Martin Croker was one of the guys that was on Space Ghost, and I actually got he was the voice of Zorak, and he wrote a lot of the episodes. I talked to him actually not long before he died. He was at AwesomeCon in I want to say it was 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. And he talked about how, like, a lot of the shit that Adult Swim did being outright criminal, like what they did to Brendan Small with Metalocalypse. Like, they were making a lot of money off of Death Clock song sales, and they basically didn't give those guys any. They really wrote a lot of litigious stuff that screwed those guys out of their own material, so they just kind of up and quit, and that's why Metalocalypse really didn't get a proper conclusion. And you know, they one day just decided they were done with Space Ghost and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and just were like, yeah, we're canceling it.
Yeah, it seemed kind of unorganized. Like, I get with Venture Brothers, I get, you know, the animation looks great and it takes a while. I totally understand that, you know. But at the same time, it's like, do we really need to wait 3 or 4 years for a whole new season to come out?
Yeah,
like,
but you gotta spend money to make money, and that's the problem with not just Adult Swim but Cartoon Network. It's like they find a horse and they find a cow and they milk it to death. They are like the Activision of TV networks. I know we've got Call of Duty on this doc, but you know, the fact of the matter is they find their cow, they milk it till nobody cares anymore. If you turn on Cartoon Network at any given point in the day, what are you going to see? Teen Titans Go and nothing fucking else.
I know, yeah, and you know, I just want to say real quick, Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, like, when the Clone Wars came out, that's where it was at. It was on Cartoon Network. I don't know why it was on Adult Swim, because it's kind of stupid. I mean, supposedly the Clone Wars is a kid show, even though let's face it, Star Wars is for every age group. It doesn't matter what fucking era it is, or what story's being told, or whatever. It's for kids, teens, adults, whatever. So let's move past that BS and get with the times. But I mean, they put a marathon of like half to all of each season on Adult Swim after the Clone Wars was canceled by Disney because Disney didn't like Cartoon Network and vice versa, or some kind of argument like that, so Clone Wars was canceled. Originally supposed to have 8 seasons, but that didn't happen. I mean, I'm happy with what we have, but I would have liked to have seen the Cad Bane and Boba Fett story arc, which
it's like, look at Samurai Jack. They had Samurai Jack. It was very popular for a number of years. And then they did Gennady Tartakovsky dirty, and he also did the first Clone Wars series, if you remember. And then it wasn't until he did the really successful Hotel Transylvania movies, and Cartoon Network's like, "Hey, Gennady, would you maybe come back to do Samurai Jack? Make us some money since you're popular." And we want to milk the franchise, make a video game.
Yeah, fucking Cartoon Network. I mean, and yeah, like I would have loved to have seen like the Cad Bane and Boba Fett story arc. If they want to make a Boba Fett movie, that's the story arc they need to include for like a prequel Boba Fett movie. There was supposed to be a story arc about Yoda and the Wookiees. Which would have been nice to have known about, because in Revenge of the Sith, Yoda does say, "Oh, I will. Good relations with the Wookiees. I have." That kind of thing.
We went for talking about the sex robots to Yoda fucking Wookiees.
No, let's not do that.
Yoda got
that's a great Yoda impression, by the way. I like that.
Oh my God, going to come I am.
No.
So on the top of the Cartoon Network, if I can just chime in my couple cents in here.
Go ahead.
Growing up watching Toonami and all the stuff that they had way back then was a breath of fresh air, and nowadays they just gotta beat the everlasting fuck out of us with some of the stupid cartoons ever. I mean, Teen Titans Go looks like complete and utter donkey shit.
And I do want to chime in on that topic, because I will agree with you, and I'm a DC fan, but Teen Titans Go is shit. The original Teen Titans is 10. No, not 10. Not even 1,000. 1 billion times better than that Go crap.
I never understood why. It's like even Teen Titans Go has acknowledged the old cartoon, and I've never understood why they decided to do like a. And there's if you look it up, if you Google it, there's an art style called the Cal art style, the really lazy style that like everything is done in these days. Even poor son of a bitch Toucan Sam is now drawn like he came out of a 5-year-old's asshole. People have been clamoring for Young Justice to come back, and it's like, DC had to have their own.
Oh my God,
service.
you are kidding.
I wonder if DC used their streaming service and brought back and continued and picked up on the Teen Titans story. I wonder how many viewers they would get.
Oh, they would get 1,000.
Yeah, honestly. But speaking of that, and this may have to be a topic to discuss on the next show or something like that, but I think DC streaming service is going bye-bye, because they're putting a lot of their stuff on HBO Max.
What's the fan though?
Hold on. Either that, or they're putting some stuff on HBO Max, and they're keeping their main streaming service app. It could be one or the other. I don't know what it is.
I think HBO Max is going to cannibalize streaming services. I don't know. I don't have HBO Max. I don't really have any intention of getting it. But yeah, I keep seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Cartoon Network sucks. Adult Swim, kind of the same thing for adult cartoons. Yeah, and like I out of the newer cartoons that Cartoon Network did, I loved Regular Show, but I don't think I mean, I will admit, I don't think it should have been as long as it was, because they were 15-minute cartoons, give or take.
Yeah,
and they were fun.
I'm glad it at least got it at least had a concise series to run. Like they told the story they wanted to tell, and not a lot of shows can survive Cartoon Network. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And then it's like Adventure Time. Like I think when Adventure Time first came out, I thought it was great, and it went so long it became pretentious. And I think that's the problem with Rick and Morty, is that Rick and Morty has become pretentious, where the definition of the word is it thinks it's more important than it actually is.
Yeah, I was into Adventure Time, and then it started getting so damn weird and stuff. I mean, I do want to go. I do want to go back and kind of try it again, just to see why I dropped out. But I mean, the other part of it is they don't like to show reruns usually, because I mean, with Clone Wars, show it once, oh well, you miss it, you snooze, you lose. And I mean, with some of their own cartoons, like some of the regular show episodes.
DVR.
Well, that's the thing, though. Is if people don't have DVR, then they're screwed if they miss it.
To record it. That's the thing. Not everybody remembers to go in and record a series.
Right.
Yeah, but but even with that being the case, not everyone has a DVR. Like, they'll have cable, but yet for some reason not have a DVR installed into it. I don't know why. I think
like Lazo from Adult Swim will come in and be like, get a VCR, you butt fuck.
That sounded like a Wolverine voice, by the way. I like that. It's cool.
Hey, Cyclops, quit fucking ass. Your voice act is dead. Wow. I love that. Have you ever seen that clip where Wolverine just walks up to say, he's like, hey, Cyclops! And Cyclops is like, Wolverine. He starts talking X-Men shit, and he just punches him in the gut. It's like the greatest clip from the 90s X-Men cartoon.
I have not seen that. I want to see it, though. I'm imagining it in my brain, and it looks, and it's what I'm
just
thinking of.
You can watch that clip over and over and over. It's like every time Rain was there with the picture of Jean Grey, it's like, Jean,
Yeah.
He's trying so hard to conceal a boner in those yellow spandex tights.
You're right. So, okay. Are we done talking about Cartoon Network?
You did read the statement from James.
Oh, I apologize. Okay,
can I read it like Jonas Venture Jr. would? Would anybody like that?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, do it. Go ahead.
So, as it must to all, cancellation has come to the Venture Brothers. The pilot aired 17 years ago, which means the show was almost old enough to vote. It was one of the great gifts to my life and career. The fans were, quite simply, the best. Thank you. Everybody, go Team Venture. That's a heartfelt tweet.
It really is. Yeah. Speaking of heartfelt stuff, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, passed away from colon cancer at age 43. He did not look 43. He looked like he was in
sick either.
I know, that's the thing. I think either because I was talking to my mom's husband, like my mom recently got married.
Call him Dad.
No, I'm not doing that. But my mom recently got married, and I was talking to her husband's name is Sean.
Weekday Dad.
Anyway, I was talking to Sean's mom, and
You can call her Gim Gam.
Okay, we get it. Thank you. It's all good. But seriously though, I was in the kitchen getting something to drink or a snack or whatever, and on the news, the story of Chadwick Boseman passing came up, and we were kind of talking about that, and either he must have either somehow not have known until it was too late.
No, he knew. If you check out some of the articles, they knew, and they were just hoping he would get through it.
Yeah.
Like even when he didn't see war, he was sick, which is crazy.
Well, what I was gonna say was it was either that, which I mean clearly it's not now, or which is pretty much the answer. He did know, but it wasn't mentioned to the public until just now.
Well, there's a lot of celebrities that happens to. Like nobody knew David Bowie was sick until he was gone. I didn't know Ruth Bader Ginsburg had pancreatic cancer. I didn't know Adam West had lymphoma, which is kind of an irony because there's that one episode of Family Guy where he rolls around in radioactive waste, and they're like, Mr. West, you have lymphoma.
Forgot about that. That's
Didn't say
right.
everyone.
Yeah, and if I can just chime in real quick.
John,
Yeah.
you can't.
Oh well, fine.
I don't care.
Fuck all y'all. Fuck.
I'm pod
Fuck
blocking
you.
But yeah, I mean, later on it was also said that that it was kept under wraps about him having colon cancer. Hell, even the Marvel. I think Kevin Feige didn't even know. I don't think he did. And then once it just
colon cancer typically isn't like it's. I mean, no cancer is good, but I think the survivability of it is. It tends to be like higher on the scale. Like pancreatic cancer is something insane, like 3%, and Alex Trebek is beating it.
Yeah, that's like incredibly rare.
It's what's even more fucked up. A lot, there was photos of Chadwick on, I think online stuff like that, and he was skinny, he was looking unwell. A lot of people were like, "Oh, he's just preparing for a movie role." And
but you would think that.
Yeah,
I thought that because it's like one of those things. Like every time you see, it's like shit. If you saw Christian Bale any other week, you're like, "Oh, it's definitely cancer."
Wow.
Oh God.
But I'm serious. Like Christian Bale is that type. I wasn't even trying to make a joke per se. I mean, I was making a joke, but like Christian Bale's the type of actor where it's like any role. It's like he played fucking Dick Cheney. Christian Bale played Dick Cheney. He looks nothing like Dick Cheney.
Mm-hmm.
And he got put on 100 pounds to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really is sad that he passed away. And
you hiring?
Huh?
I said, "Hey Disney, are you hiring?"
Oh God.
Oh, Bill Cosby as Black Panther. You'd love to see it. But actually, speaking of which, actually, before I get to that, I just want to say that.
Wow. Wow.
Say, I heard something sad and I made laughter.
Yeah, you have a real talent for that. So good on you.
You just say pudding pop. You see Theo and people laugh.
Not just that, but the fact that you can whip out a meme.
Just like whip out. I'm gonna whip
But what I was gonna say was, I did try to honor Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther by taking some Mayfex Black Panther photos. So, if you want to, I'm just saying, if anyone's listening and you want to check it out, go to Instagram.com/starpool295, and I did make a post about it. Pretty much the time of the news came out about him. But speaking of kind of casting roles and everything like that, it's said that Shuri will reportedly become the MCU's new Black Panther. Don't get me wrong. And it even says in the show notes, keep in mind that it may change.
Yeah.
But it's a new Black Panther. Keep in mind this might change for what reason behind the scenes. I don't know what that means, but
I think they're saying that now because Shuri was a popular character in the movies. I think she was very well cast and well played. But I think the role of T'Challa should be recast. And I have, I look. Did you see the first Hulk movie? Because that wasn't Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Did you see the first Iron Man? Did you see the first Iron Man? James Rhodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That wasn't Don Cheadle.
But the other thing is that I can't really say for the Incredible Hulk, because apparently that movie bombs to the point where they're not going to make any more Hulk movies, and if they do, it's not anytime in the near future.
That's not the reason. The movie did well. The movie did very well. The reason is Paramount has similar rights to Sony, but they're not like Sony's rights. Like, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and they're not giving it up. Whereas, unconditionally, the Hulk can appear in the now Disney movies. So they just can't do solo Hulk movies. So they have to include him in other things. Otherwise, Paramount would get an absurd amount of money. So Disney's just kind of cutting them out of it because they won't play ball with them. So, yeah, if you go, and you can even go on the Wikipedia page, like the Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton did almost as well as Iron Man. When I say almost as well, I mean literally almost as well. It was almost as popular. It did almost as well financially. Now, the fact of the matter is, the reason I think that he should be recast is, one, they had plans for T'Challa. They had plans for what he was going to do. Two, I think it's silly to just kill off a character, especially watching the first Black Panther. I mean, the whole narrative of the story is T'Challa beating death. How fucking stupid is it to kill him off screen and be like, well, sure, he's the Black Panther now because, T'Challa wasn't feeling too. You have to. It would just be better to have another actor come in because, and a lot of kids look up to this character. He's popular. It doesn't matter what race the kids are. He's popular. I see plenty of kids that love Black Panther. Why take that character away from them because the actor passed away and people were too chicken shit to say an actor died? You can explain to your kids, okay, well, this guy's the new Black Panther now. Look at how many fucking James Bonds we've had. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cast an actor. And I think the character's important. I think he's important for the story they were trying to build. I think he's important for kids that like the character, fans that like the character. Well, why? Why just do this? I mean, you can recast an actor. It happens.
Yeah. Did they say why they recasted Rhodey from Iron Man 1?
In the first movie, Terrence Howard was the highest paid actor. So then when Robert Downey, fun story, I think people have already forgotten that, Robert Downey Jr. was a fucking wreck when the first Iron Man came out. Like, he had a couple movies, he did the Guy Ritchie movie. I want to say it was, it was a movie about diamonds. But he did, a Guy Ritchie movie, and he did another movie. But he was actually so much of a fucking mess that he was uninsurable. So Terrence Howard had come off of Hustle and Flow, and he was a hot ticket at that time, and he was the highest paid actor, and they were building up War Machine, the whole next time, thing that happens in that movie. So when Iron Man 2 was going into pre-production, Terrence Howard wanted more money, but at that point, Robert Downey Jr.'s popularity had skyrocketed, and he was all pissed off. They were going to pay Robert Downey Jr. the most money, and he just basically could not come to an agreement.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he did a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. No, the definition of idiot, what you fucking are. I love that line. And he's fucking pissing on the dead body. He's like, oh my god.
That's a great movie, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember a little bit of what they were saying about Terrence Howard and the Robert Downey Jr. dispute with the whole money thing, and honestly, I think it was kind of stupid, just because that they were leading up to him for him to become War Machine in the future of the MCU could have been a complete game changer. But at the same time, it's okay, you wanted more money, and Robert Downey Jr. wanted to be paid really well also at the same time. So it's why would you bitch about Robert Downey Jr. when he was getting lowballed in the first Iron Man movie, when you were getting you were just a minor character in the movie.
Yeah, and at the time when Iron Man came out, that movie did way better than I think anybody expected.
It was great.
To. So, because at the same time he did Tropic Thunder, which probably would have been career suicide at any other point. He just was kind of lucky at the time that
definitely.
Everything worked out. I'm sorry, he was not in a Guy Ritchie movie. I'm remembering that incorrectly. He was in Zodiac the year before, which I think that and Scanner Darkly. Scanner Darkly wasn't very good, but he was erected at that time, and then after Iron Man, he got Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah,
and since then, I think his career had kind of been on an upswing. Although Doolittle happened.
You guys see him in Tropic Thunder?
God, that's a great film.
I loved it when he was
a dude. Oh God, I gotta send John and Chris. I gotta send you guys a gift that I made, a Tropic Thunder gift.
I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and Robert Downey Jr. was on it, and he was talking about when he was in Tropic Thunder doing, playing his character, doing the whole blackface thing, and his Robert Downey Jr.'s mom called him up, and she's like, Bobby, I swear I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
But it worked, because that was one of the whole points of the movie of Tropic Thunder, was to say actors do stupid, crazy shit, and the whole point was but we're going to tell you that in the form of comedy.
Yeah,
and it worked.
And what makes it even funnier about Robert Downey Jr.'s character in that movie is that he was pretty much a method actor, meaning that he got into the role so deep that even toward the end of the movie, he just broke down throughout all of his past roles of how deep that being those characters got to him. And on top of that, it was just a great ending scene for from him going from his history as being these characters into being back to Kirk Lazarus. He's like, I don't know who the hell I am anymore. It's just like one of those just unfolding of the layers of the Kirk Lazarus character.
what I love about Robert Downey Jr. in that film, in the movie, he says, "I don't stop playing character until the DVD commentary." It
yes.
fucking does this. He fucking did this. And Ben Stiller was like, "Oh, seriously?" Like, you could just hear the disdain in his voice, like, "Oh, you were not kidding about this, were you?" You know, it's almost like he wanted to say that. So you listen to the audio commentary of that movie, either on Blu-ray or DVD, he fucking does it from start to finish, and at the very end, it's Robert Downey Jr. is back. It's hilarious.
How about, you talk a character actor in that movie. You talk about Tom Cruise. Whether you love Tom Cruise or not, love him or hate him, he played a character in that movie.
Oh, yeah. That makeup is great.
Oh, yeah.
I love when he's doing the music video scene.
Yeah. This is great. This is great. God.
Or you seen it, John?
The GIF or there it is.
Yeah, the GIF.
Oh my god!
There's a lot of people to be sensitive about that.
People are sensitive about so much shit. It's kind of pathetic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh god.
So, where are we at? So we
were talking about Chadwick's passing and
the boots with the fur.
I was just going to chime in something for the whole Chadwick passing and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, there's been talks about that they're going to retire the character in the MCU now. So this has been recent news. So I don't know how they're going to retire the character, but I mean, they got to figure out some way to make sure it's done the right.
He choked on a hot dog.
Oh my god! Wow.
What's that the most fucked up thing that that it's like Okoye is consoling Shuri? Is like, we told him not to go to Sonic, but he wanted that foot long coding.
Wow.
They got him like in the casket, and he's like doing arms.
Wow.
And the hot dog's still there.
Oh my god. Oh god, that got a little right. Wow.
Yeah. I have to kind of say that. I mean, if they were character, as long as whether they retire the character or T'Challa, they have where T'Challa retires as Black Panther and passes it on to Shuri. As long as it's written well, I don't care what they do. It's all about executing it to the point where it's not going to look off or bad. Because if they pull their cards, if they do it wrong, then it's just gonna look odd, and people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" So it's really and truly all about, no matter what they do, they gotta figure out something that makes sense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just think recasting him is the best option. I think it's the best for the fans. I think it's the best for the story. I think it's the best for the character and his importance. Because here's the thing: it's like if you suddenly say, "Okay, Shuri's Black Panther," I guarantee you're gonna have a lot of people that, even though they like Shuri as Shuri, they're gonna peace out, because it's like, okay, well, who do we have still? We have Thor with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's getting ready to pass the mantle to Jane Foster. We had the Guardians of the Galaxy, but they've gone back into space. We've got the Falcon, Captain America, and Bucky, Scarlet Witch, and Black Panther. And it's like, I think Black Panther is the most popular of the current Avengers characters in the new phases. And I really think that it would be senseless to just kill him off because they'll make a Shuri movie and people be like, yeah, no, thank you. And
maybe they wouldn't kill him off, but I mean, like I said, if they had him retire, that could be.
How do you have him retire? I mean, like, do they just say like, "Oh, T'Challa's focusing his efforts on being king, and you never see him again"? You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying it's an option.
Yeah.
But I do. At first, I didn't. At first, I didn't really. I wasn't really on board with the whole recasting idea. But now that you've made all these points, like how how popular he is, how
Here's my thing. Who's your favorite James Bond?
I honestly have not seen James Bond, so
Oh, man.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
For me, it's like it's a toss-up between Sean Connery and Daniel Craig. There's a lot of people that they like Pierce Brosnan or Roger Moore. Roger Moore, there's a big debate who was a better Bond, Roger Moore or Sean Connery.
Yeah, it's kind of the. It's kind of the same thing with Doctor Who. Like that show has been on for God knows how long, and they bring in all these different guys to play the Doctor, and recently as a female.
I look at the MCU as like, look, they have this big plan. If you're going to make something that is like a cinematic comic book, you're going to have to recast characters in the same sense that in the comics. Look at art styles, right? You can pull up Peter Parker from 1960, from 1970, from 1990. Mary Jane, same deal. And different artists draw the characters differently. And I feel like if you're going to recast in the MCU, when there's a recast, look at it in the same veil as a different artist's depiction of the character.
Right.
And
100% right.
And probably a clear example will be like James Rhodes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, yeah, we talked about that earlier. Don Cheadle and Terrence Howard look nothing alike. Like, I remember being in the audience in Iron Man 2, and people were like, who? And that was before there was an MCU, per se.
Yeah.
Because they did tie in the Hulk and Iron Man. I don't know if you guys remember at the end of the Hulk, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark shows up.
Yep.
Yep, same character, just different actors or actresses. It worked out for James Bond. They started with, Sean Connery, then George Lazenby did it once, then Sean Connery came back one last time, and then it was Roger Moore.
Right.
Timothy Dalton did it twice, then Pierce Brosnan, and now Daniel Craig. So I think if it works out for other studios and franchises, then most likely it'll work out the same way with Marvel as long as they get the casting right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, or, even in like the Dark Knight trilogy, it's like they recast Katie Holmes with Maggie Gyllenhaal,
Yeah.
There's so many recasts that happen in movies, and I like I said, I see so many kids who idolize Black Panther, and back on the topic of Batman, you had Michael Keaton, you had Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and they're all supposed to be the same Batman, right?
Yeah.
And we're about to have 3 simultaneous Batmen. We're going to have Michael Keaton back for Flashpoint, and you're going to have Robert Pattinson, which I'm actually controversial opinion. I'm not excited for that movie at all. And you're going to have Batfleck back. And actually, I am excited for the Snyder Cut and what that what that's going to be. But we're basically going to have 3 actors playing this essentially the same character all at the same time.
Sounds like a clusterfuck.
It is kind of a clusterfuck, but hey, if there's a story and you like it, you win. And I feel like if you're going to retire T'Challa, I think you're taking away the opportunity to tell the stories that need to be told, or should be told, rather. No story in the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs to be told, but I mean, you're taking away the opportunity to tell stories, and it might be sacrilege, but hey, like, here's the thing, like, when Heath Ledger died, and I think I was talking to you about this, John, like, when Heath Ledger died, there were people that are like, nobody else could be the Joker ever. We don't want anybody else to be the Joker. Heath passed away. It's unfortunate. And Chadwick Boseman's passing is there's kind of some parallels. Now, Heath's was tragic, and it was his own doing, sadly. But for Chadwick, there was really nothing he could do about it. I mean, he was seeking treatment and everything. We're not going to get into those details, but people had the same sentiment that nobody else should play the character. Did y'all see Joker? What do you think about Joaquin Phoenix? People want more Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. Here's the thing. I just want to mention this. People don't like Jared Leto as Jared Leto as the Joker. I actually like Jared Leto as the Joker because Joker's supposed to be this unstable, crazy ass dude.
There's also supposed to be multiple Jokers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
there's supposed to be multiple. I thought it was like just one.
Well, even in the current continuity of Batman, I should say of Batman in DC, they've confirmed that there are 3 simultaneous different Jokers.
Wow. And that makes a lot more
sense. Joe Chill being one of them.
And that makes a lot more sense because honestly, anyone could become batshit crazy and put on clown makeup and a purple or whatever color they want suit and cause chaos within Gotham. I mean, it's possible.
Just like in Black Panther, how anybody could pick up the mantle of Black Panther who challenged the throne.
Exactly.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say just real quick. Did you guys hear about that theory that the Heath Ledger Joker, with how he sets everything up ahead of time? That supposedly he's like an ex-military intelligence officer, which is why he's able to plan all this crazy shit ahead.
I just love the ambiguity of the character. I love characters where they don't get the backstory, but they keep those gears turning in the back of your head. I think those are the most effective characters. Characters that inspire imagination. And look, this is like, we're going to go back to Star Wars real quick, because I want to talk about like one of the reasons why I love the original trilogy and I hate the sequel trilogy. I don't hate the prequel trilogy. I think that the prequel trilogy had good bones, but it needed validation, and it was... man, we could do a whole podcast on that, but like, so...
I just want to say real quick, hold on, I just want to say real quick, for the prequels, it basically narrows down to there were just too many stories to tell.
That's part of it. Like I said, it had good bones, but it lacked focus. And I think that the sequel trilogy shouldn't have started with Anakin as a little shit pants boy. It should have been in the thick of the Clone Wars. We didn't need to know how they found Anakin.
They could have made a comic series or something about that.
So let me tell you, like, the pivotal part of A New Hope that, in my opinion, was one of the best parts of Star Wars. It's when Luke is talking to Obi-Wan about his father. And Obi-Wan tells a story about Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. Now, all through my childhood, and again, I'm older than you guys, but all through my childhood, we would be on the playground or we'd be hanging out and talking. What do you think happened? What do you think happened? And let me tell you, everything in my imagination about that encounter between Obi-Wan and Anakin was far better than what we actually saw on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that. And I think that, when people say a book is better than a movie, I think it's because your imagination, when you foster a healthy imagination, it is far more powerful than any motion picture can be. And motion pictures can inspire your imagination. They, the what ifs and origin stories, getting those gears turning. Like, man, what was the Joker's origin? And you're sitting there thinking about it. You're so engaged with the possibilities. But when you show people what is and it doesn't meet their expectations, that's when you create problems. So if they did like a prequel movie, it's not going to have the same impact unless there's things in there that plant seeds and get your mind going and thinking. Going to the sequel trilogy, that whole scene with Luke and in The Last Jedi, when Luke does that thing where he talks about, like, he goes in and it's like, oh, my nephew's having a nightmare, better ignite a lightsaber over him because he's probably evil. If they had Luke telling a story and it was up to the audience's interpretation, and they didn't cut away and show, like, I'm unhinged, you're having a nightmare, Sith Lord asshole. If they didn't have that, it actually would have been a powerful scene, because you would have assumed that Luke had the best intentions, and your imagination would have been going, man, what happened? What did he see? What was Snoke doing with Ben? So I feel like when you do that in a movie and you plant seeds and you get the audience to think for themselves and picture it for themselves rather than being blatant, you're far more effective.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also like, what if Qui-Gon Jinn survived the fight between him and Obi-Wan and Maul, Because Qui-Gon was the father figure that Anakin needed, but because he was stabbed in the heart or gut or something by Maul, he wasn't able to be that father figure for Anakin, and that led to Palpatine being that father figure and leading him down a path he probably shouldn't have taken.
Yeah.
In terms of the story.
But then there's the what ifs of Anakin striking Palpatine down and what he and Windu would have done, and that's another what if. That's why I think the prequel trilogy has good bones, and it has a lot of good stories in it. But it's like Lucas was thinking that I'm making a kids movie, and he forgot along the way that the thing about the original trilogy is that George Lucas wasn't as involved in it as he was in the prequel trilogy. If you watch some of and guys, subscribe to Red Letter Media. The Mr. Plinkett stuff, it's silly, but they go back and they look at episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3, and how they just gave George Lucas full creative control of the prequel trilogy. And for the love of God, the guy, I'm not knocking him, but he had good ideas, but he was surrounded by yes men. And people, anything he suggested, oh yeah, George, that's great, you got so many good ideas. When it put so many moving things, they allowed him to make the movie too busy, and it lost focus.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a prequel guy. I love the prequels. I love the Clone Wars, all that stuff. But I do see the flaws in the not the Clone Wars. In the prequel trilogy, because like some of the dialogue is a bit rough to the point where it's like, hey, turn it into a meme.
We some people gonna die. Yeah.
And honestly, I don't care what people say. I like Jar Jar Binks. He's funny. He's
you have a fullback tattoo of him?
Huh?
Oh, you've never seen Fanboys?
Oh, I have. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Seth Rogen's character. It's like, so Fanboys is a movie that takes place before episode 1 comes out. It's basically these guys, their friend is terminally ill, and they're trying to get him to see episode 1 before he passes away. And like Seth Rogen plays this caricature of your typical Star Wars fan from the late 90s. And he's like, yeah, I got a full back tattoo of Jar Jar Binks. This guy's gonna be huge.
Oh God. Yeah. And honestly, like, I was surprised that, and I just want to say real quick, I was surprised that Bandai Tamashii years ago showed a prototype of an SH Figure Arts Jar Jar Binks, but ultimately, I don't think I'd grab that one. I mean, like I said, I like Jar Jar.
Black Series one's looking good.
Yeah, Black Series is doing great. I mean, I like Black Series. From time to time, I actually prefer Black Series over Figure Arts, but it also depends on the accessories and all that kind of jazz.
Let's talk about this, like, jazz.
but to kind of get to the point, I would probably buy a Black Series Jar Jar over a Figure Arts Jar Jar. Especially if the Black Series Jar Jar comes with enough accessories that I'm not going to be disappointed, you know?
Did you guys ever see, when episode 1 was coming out, there was a shitload of merchandise. Did you guys ever see that? It was a motorized lollipop, and it was the head of Jar Jar Binks. It would open up, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm French kissing Jar Jar Binks. Bro.
Yes. Yeah. I think the tongue, like, twirled around, too.
Yeah, it did.
JC probably put it in his butt. He's like putting it. It's like, Weezer gonna die.
Yeah, that's right. Come here, Bo-Chat.
Say something like Aaron could say.
Your best pillow.
We supposed to service gonna die. Yeah, I'm a bum.
And fun little fact about Jar Jar while we're talking about him real quick. In the Aftermath novels, it was said that he was a street performer and the kids loved him, but the adults hated him. That kind of reminds me of when the prequel trilogy started. Am I right?
Well, it's funny. Like I read it, or I should say, read. I watched a thing on Star Wars Theory where they talked about like what happened to Jar Jar after, and like he would resume being a street performer and basically like died in poverty.
Probably, yeah. Anyway,
speaking of dying in poverty.
So we got a little off the rails, but let's get back on before I continue though, but yeah, Black Panther recast is actually a good idea, because the possibilities of the Black Panther stories are endless, honestly. So, and if they do recast him, which I hope they do, I look forward to what they're gonna create.
Well,
and if they, for some reason, make Shuri Black Panther, which, don't get me wrong, I hope if they do it, I hope it's really well written to where it'll be really well received. Because if they don't, then there's going to be a lot of problems. So, Anyway.
There was a guy that before they cast or announced that they cast Chadwick Boseman, there's an actor named Dion Cole. A lot of people know him from the Old Spice commercials. He was the dude on the horse. And it's funny, but the guy is an actual legit actor. He wanted to play the character. And before they announced Chadwick Boseman, there were talks about having him be the character. If they were to do a recast, I would say like give the guy a shot.
Yeah. Maybe they'll give him a call now that Chadwick has kind of passed, but who knows? Anyway, Wakanda forever. Am I right?
Wakanda forever.
So Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is the official sequel to Black Ops from 2010 and a prequel from Black Ops 2 in 2012. It'll release in November of 2020. Thoughts?
It's not a launch title for next gen. I found that out the other day. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I don't follow COD, but I mean, I don't follow COD. I don't really play COD games often, but every now and then I'll put it in the Xbox and be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is cool. So,
see, I actually play the single players. I play the campaigns, and I enjoy them. And I'm excited to see that they're continuing Wood's story. I guess the senior and younger Mercer would be in this. I guess Sam Worthington needs another paycheck outside of Avatar, since that seems to be all he's got going on. But yeah, so Ops 2 was kind of weird because of how, like, did anybody else play the single player for that?
I did, and I kind of don't like the back and forth stuff. You go in the and then you go into like the 2030s or 2020s. Yeah. I thought, okay, no, if this is going to be a sequel, it needs to at least take place in the 70s and 80s.
Right. And it's like so strange to have, like, okay, we're going for historical things, and then we're doing far out sci-fi space nut shit. Now they're going back to more historical stuff. Like, well, we have digital Ronald Reagan, and I'm going to we're going to go and Nicaragua, and then we're going to have a mission where you plant crack in the inner cities. You're going to go to Iowa, and you're going to go to Christian residence, and you're going to put this pipe on Teresa Christian's property.
Oh my god.
God dang old derp.
And then 5 years later, we're going to have an HBO documentary. God, what if that ends up being?
Oh god.
Oh, I cannot believe he was actually in that documentary.
I can. He's a crackhead.
I took a screenshot of it because I watched it one time, and I'm like, oh my god, he's wearing a fucking beret. He's got a chain around his neck. He's got like that.
Call him crackhead.
Well, I mean, Beachhead.
He's a fucking douchebag.
Call of Duty crack ops.
Well, I mean,
smoking a pipe.
well, I mean, in G.I. Joe, Beachhead wears a beret, and that's not weird.
I mean, he has a beret in the classified series, but he didn't actually wear a beret in the cartoon.
Clint always did.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm trying to stay as far away from G.I. Joe Classified because I don't know the characters, I don't know the property. I've only seen the live action movie a handful of times that I can barely remember because I was very young.
Great action figures.
Huh?
They're great action figures. I mean, at least it's like
rich.
But at least you could just say, I'm going to get Duke and Cobra Commander and call them a day.
True. The one that's really drawing my eye is Baroness. I don't know why. It's just a lady in black that's just.
The motorcycle is really awesome. It's actually a front wheel. It's actually made of it's actually really sturdily built vehicle. I was surprised. I was expecting it to be like a hollow piece of plastic with wheels, but no, it's actually really well made. And then
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, all the figures, I was going to say she's got a ton of accessories, but all the figures in line, they have a bunch of accessories that all store on the figure. And if you like Black Series and you like Marvel Legends, these things all have the best elements of both the Black Series and Marvel Legends. They're basically as articulated as an SH Figuarts. Now, the joints don't move as smoothly as a Figuarts would, but they are as posable, easily as posable. In the fact they have drop-down hips, and that's insane to see on a Hasbro figure.
Yeah, I really hope they implement drop-down hips on armored Black Series characters, but if they don't, then, it is what it is. But the only thing they're really missing is a toe hinge, and then they'll really have the wrist pegs, the ball hinged wrist pegs to orientate the hand however you want. Include those two, they'll have a retail quality SH Figuarts figure, basically. And I mean, like I said, I am trying to stay away from them because, like I said, I don't know much about them, and as amazing as they look and as awesome as they are, because I did see D Amazing and Robo's review on the Flush YouTube channel of Baroness and the Coil bike, and it's so tempting, but I'm like, no, I'm not working right now, I'm trying to find a job, and I'm already collecting. My shopping list for figures I need to catch up on is already pretty long. I don't need to add G.I. Joe stuff on there. I just don't. So, I mean,
all right. Well, Tyler, I have something to extend to you. You remember earlier in the episode, I mentioned you can go over to the YouTube channel for Figure Action. It's the podcast that I host every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. I'm doing the shill thing. I'm pegging myself here. Or not pegging myself. Jesus, that's awful. I'm plugging myself. But we've got a video where you could potentially win that Baroness for free from my buddy Nate from Nate's Toys and Collectibles.
yeah.
So if you want an option to get one for free, you and anybody else on this show right now or anybody listening can head over to the Figure Action YouTube channel, look up the Figure Action giveaways video, and provided you're doing so before September 24th, you can enter to win that Cobra Commander, or I'm sorry, Cobra Commander is up. That one actually is October 3rd, but the Baroness is September 24th. So get in, put an entry in. Hopefully you're a lucky winner, and then you can see how awesome the G.I. Joe Classified series is. I mean, dude, they have articulated necks, and I mean, it's not a double ball peg on the neck. It's like the neck actually has its own separate ball joint, so you can rotate the neck and get some really natural poses and some quizzical movement. It's some next level stuff. The only figure in the line that I can say is like lacking is that Amazon exclusive Arctic Storm Shadow. It's just for whatever reason it's missing boot cut.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did. I think they didn't figure out how to implement the boot cuts and preserve the sculpt on the Storm Shadow.
Well, if you're doing an original sculpt, you don't need to worry about preserving the sculpt. You're just like, okay, we're going to change it.
Yeah, you got a point there. I mean, I suck at giveaways, so I mean, I'll give it a try. But I mean,
it's real simple. All you got to do is go in, follow the instructions in that video for Figure Action giveaways. You got to go to our 105th episode. Leave a like, leave the comment, hashtag Figure Action Rules on Facebook. You got to go to Nate's Toys and Collectibles, leave him a like, and make sure you're subscribed to the Figure Action podcast. It's 4 steps, really easy.
Okay. Could you text me that, because I will forget.
I will send you a link through Messenger with the giveaway promo video and a link to episode 105. And then actually no, I'll send you the giveaway video, because in the description for that video we actually have all the instructions written out. So anybody that wants to enter can do so. And we're also trying to get some subscribers for the channel. one of our goals for 2020 was to get to 1,000 subs so we can start monetizing, because right now we're paying for StreamYard, and it's our Teespring store, the Fap Shop. FAP is Figure Action Podcast, is what's keeping us funded.
Yeah. Cool. I will gladly enter that giveaway when I can, and before the 24th. And I know my chances are very slim, but I'll give it a shot anyway.
Hey, you got to be in it to win it. And again, we're a smaller podcast. We haven't even hit 1,000 subs yet, so
I don't feel so bad. There's only like 263.
Well, no, I'm just saying his chances. I'm saying, like, if you're a 1 in 3, if like right now I think we've only got like 30 something entries, so right now your chances are like 1 in 40 to get a figure, like a figure that's selling for like $90 on eBay. Absolutely free.
Wait, just the figure, just Baroness herself, or
no, the box, the set, like the figure and the bike. She's selling for like, she's a $40 figure, but she's selling for like $90 on eBay average.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because scalpers, we've been talking about this a lot on my show. Like the scalpers have been a huge problem this year, where they're basically being the gatekeepers for different lines. Be it Black Series, be it Marvel Legends, they'll come in, they'll get a figure that they know people want, and basically whatever the short packed figure is, they'll buy it up, or a troop. Now they're doing it with troop builders. So like the Cobra Trooper, right? I think they're the highest. Like, so you have like the Cobra Island subline, which is the Target exclusives, and you have people that are going to Target as soon as they open, buying up all of the troop builder figures, and they're doing this nationwide. And you got to think about a troop builder figure.
Mm-hmm.
And then jacking up the price to like $40 a figure, $50, $60 a figure.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same thing with the Walmart exclusive Clone Wars Black Series figures. Like they like Hasbro revealed Ahsoka, a 332nd clone trooper, a Mandalorian loyalist, which I guess you could also call the Death Watch Mando, and the Mandalorian, Darth Maul Mandalorian, that they're calling the Mandalorian Super Commando or something like that. Those four figures are kind of like suffering from the G.I. Joe syndrome of being a subline, and they're Walmart exclusive, which is even worse than Target exclusive if you ask me, because Walmart doesn't get shit in. And Target, while they don't get things in great, they at least have better chances of getting stuff in than Walmart. So, I mean, I hope that, not just for the G.I. Joe, or not just the Black Series Clone Wars figures, but also for the G.I. Joe figures. I know that there's going to be, like, different variants like Baroness and the Cobra Trooper and everything like that. But even with that being the case, I hope Hasbro will at least somewhat keep them the same and just box them separately for the main.
Well, I think they will. I think they'll keep them the same. I mean, look, with the Cobra Commander, we're getting like what, 3 variants out the gate. You've got the one that's on the shelves now, the Regal version, the Serpent Supreme version, and then we're eventually going to get a hooded variant. Because right now he's just got the reflective dome.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully it all works out. Sorry, my dad got me a milkshake. So hopefully it all works out for both G.I. Joe and Star Wars, because I need at least 4 of all 3 of those army builders, and then I definitely need Ahsoka, and I may, if I can, I may grab another Ahsoka for just the sabers, or see if anyone can cast them or something. I don't know, but yeah, hopefully it'll all work out across the board. Okay, so a RoboCop prequel series is in the early stages of development, but it won't feature RoboCop, so...
Just Alex Murphy in the hospital, and they're like, do we save the left arm? It's like, do you like RoboCop? Well, we've got Bob Morton, the series. Also, there's in a Better Call Saul fashion, you get to see what Clarence Boddicker was doing behind the scenes.
Oh, God.
God.
I mean, basically, they reuse a lot of footage from that 70s show.
Oh, my God.
That would be perfect.
It would be.
10 out of 10 movie.
I mean, but it's like, what do you do with the prequel series? Do you have like Alex Murphy on screen going, boy, Lewis, I sure hope I don't ever get shot beyond recognition.
And then turn
Murph,
into
you're crazy.
About that.
Look at them ED-209s. Man, imagine what would happen if they ever put them in the Force. Yeah, Murph, we wouldn't have co-ed showers anymore.
But is this seriously? Are they seriously not going to do are they seriously going to do RoboCop prequel without RoboCop?
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing of like being like creatively bankrupt. Like, did you guys ever see like that chintzy RoboCop the series?
I saw bits and pieces of it, and it didn't look the greatest, so I immediately turned the TV off.
It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible either. It's like they tried. It's like they tried, and they had some like interesting story ideas. It was just like basically early 2000s, and you know,
Yeah,
they did some interesting concept stuff. They did stuff that's more interesting than, like I said, you know, Alex Murphy in the hospital for 90 episodes, or not even 90 episodes, because hey, look, TV shows, it's 13 episode seasons if you're lucky. Now I think it's like 6 or 8 for most, and we'd probably get like 28 episodes of Alex Murphy in the hospital, and they're like, and then the series ends like, we're gonna cut off the left arm and make him RoboCop.
Yeah,
That makes all kinds of sense.
Oh,
And then they have Clarence Boddicker snort some coke, and he's like, "We're going to war, Bobby."
Oh god.
Jesus Christ. Also, Medicom Toy did make a RoboCop 1 and 2 version figure, so yeah, just a little fun fact there.
Did you see the what was it? They have the reaction series, and they had like the RoboCop 2 where he had like "Kick Me" spray painted on his back, and he comes packaged backwards in the box. That was like a year.
I haven't seen that, but that sounds cool.
So I don't think I've seen that. Who did that? Medicom Toy or
Some Super 7.
that makes sense.
That whole reaction series where it's like all like 5 POA throwback figures.
I hate 5 POA. It's so limiting for. Anyway,
But it was all we had.
yeah, I know, but I mean, like in today's standards, it's like, why? But I mean, I guess nostalgia. But
It's like, that's the thing. It's like I'm too old for Mego, and I never understood the Mego market. But yet there are people that buy Mego because back when it's the nostalgia factor. You have people that, you know, this is what they have in their kids. I'd be curious to like talk to some kids and find out what they think of like the G1 throwback designs for Transformers, like whether they prefer Cyberverse or if they actually like the stuff in Earthrise and Siege or the Studio Series. I have no idea. I know kids like tend to hate the Studio Series stuff because transformations be complicated, yo.
yeah. Okay, so asshole of the month.
Got us, Brian.
Let's go first.
I'll take care of this segment here. I just want to say asshole of the month is coronavirus and quarantine. I started feeling like shit on, what was it, August 29th? That was a Saturday.
I think so, yeah.
And I just felt like shit. And at first I thought it was a sinus infection. And so I thought, okay, if it doesn't get better by Monday night, next morning I'm going to go to the doctor. So I go in and they look at me and they said, well, everything you're saying is, you know, also a sinus infection, but it also, the symptoms are also associated with coronavirus. And the doctor said, I need to do the test just to make sure, you know, just to play it safe. And I was like, okay, let's do it. You know, better to be safe than sorry. And I get up on the chair or on the examination table, and he pulls out the swab. I look at it and I'm like, that has to go up my nose, doesn't it? Because I had forgotten about that part. And he goes, yes, it does. And that shit is not fun. Because he stuck it up there, and I swear I could feel it in like the inside.
Hey,
near
Chris,
the top forehead.
at least it wasn't your butt.
Exactly. That's what I thought. Well, at least it's not going up in my ass.
Yeah.
At least it's not a...
Wait, you're saying that they don't put a finger up your ass to keep you stable when you're doing that?
Oh god.
At least it wasn't suppository.
Yeah, right? It's like, we're going to stick a whole bottle of NyQuil up your asshole.
Now you see, just lay back and relax. The thing. Theo, my boy, Here we go. We sleep.
Does it burn? I'm gonna stick a pudding pop up there to cool it down. See? Then I'm gonna take pictures of the Kodak film and give you your test results. See? I seen an article or something of what was it? It was a dude that was getting what the hell's the freaking thing when they stick your finger up your ass? What's those?
Prostate exam.
Prostate exam. Yeah, so he was
Did he-
getting the
did he
prostate
come?
exam, and he came and apparently he killed the guy.
Was it
Well, because he wasn't gay.
There was, it's funny, we were talking about Adult Swim earlier. There was an episode of Metalocalypse where William Murderface goes to the doctor and they're like, Mr. Murderface, you're 40 years old. Have you considered a prostate exam? And he's like, what prostate exam? What's that? And the doctor does it and he comes and he's like having like all these conflicted thoughts. Like, like, why did I come at the doctor? So he goes for like a follow-up visit and he's like trying not to come the whole time.
Oh my god.
It's funny. I actually want to watch the movie Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler this week because I'm doing my staycation. But my main motivator for watching it is I saw this clip where Adam Sandler it's a dramatic movie, not a comedy. But it was like Uncut Gems, funny scene, and it's just Adam Sandler like, holy shit, I'm gonna come. And I'm like, I'm sold. I have to see this movie.
I love Adam Sandler. He's one of my favorite comedians. Yeah. Him, Kevin Hart, The Rock. I don't know if The Rock is technically a comedian, but I mean he is funny. So.
Why didn't I get invited to be in Jumanji? I could have been a Jewish adventurer.
No.
I'm crazy pickle arm, and I'm good at climbing rocks.
That's too funny.
So long story short, 2 days later, after I get tested, I have to stay home, and 2 days later, they email me the results and told me, yeah, you got coronavirus. So after that, quarantine was okay because they're like, well, I wanted time off from work anyways, but not like this, because when you're all alone and you can't go out anywhere, you do feel alone. Like, it was weird because it's like I wanted to give somebody a hug, but I couldn't because I can't go outside. And like, yeah, I mean, that sucked. But it was weird because it was Thursday after I got tested. I was already starting to feel better. So I just want to say coronavirus fucking sucks and quarantine. But I'm thankful I didn't have to go to the hospital and be put on a ventilator. So I'm very thankful for that.
Especially they put the ventilator in your butt, and then you'd look like Mario when he got the balloon power up in Super Mario World.
Put the ventilator in your butt and making it a try not to come challenge.
I'm gonna come. you're like it's like a steady stream of farts and jizz.
Don't forget to yell Shazam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put the tube in. I did, young man. Now just relax. Look, see.
Wakanda forever. Have a pudding cup.
Oh my god, that was too funny. Oh.
Just like trying to keep a straight face.
But and then
you come back to work and everybody's like, Sasquatch came, and you're like, no shit.
But
did he get any beef jerky?
I did not.
Oh man. That'd be great if Jack Link sent you like a care package and it was like an edible arrangement where they like tried to make the beef jerky look like flowers, but they just look like vaginas on sticks.
Honestly, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. Got a meaty puss.
Right.
Oh god.
It's really salty.
And then, so right now I'm still trying to get unemployment for the days that I missed when I was gone. So I'm
Yeah,
still
they don't have like family medical leave act.
Well, they do, but the problem around here is that, and I don't know why, and everyone else has been having the same problem, is if you do FMLA, the clinics, for some reason, don't like to send in that paperwork, which makes no sense because it's like, well, it's still paperwork. It's no different than all the other paperwork you do throughout the whole fucking week. So how is this any different? So because I was told that I could either do FMLA or employment from the state. So I'm still in the process of trying to get that all set up and established. But luckily I am now back at work. My first day back was this last Wednesday, and I was really happy to be back at work and get back in my usual routine and whatnot.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm back to work finally, thank God. And then one more thing I'll say for Asshole of the Month is Black Ops Cold War is coming out. It looks great. I'm a big fan of Black Ops because the storyline is so different than everything else that Treyarch and Activision have done, but I don't get why they're not bringing the original voice actor for Sergeant Frank Woods. I guess they found somebody that sounds just like the guy and pay him at a much lower cost than the original actor.
It could have to do with availability. And the other thing about game voice acting is a lot of times now they want the voice actor to do the mocap work, which I'm a big Splinter Cell fan, and it pisses me off to no end that they don't want Michael Ironside to do the voice of Sam Fisher because he's too old to do the mocap work.
Yeah, and the guy that did the voice of Woods, he's been saying on Twitter like he wanted to do it, and they never called him or emailed him or anything. Yeah. And he's been telling people like, "Hey, it wasn't my call to make, but I know I would love to still do."
David Hayter in Metal Gear 5. They were like, "Let's just get Keith or Sutherland."
Yeah, so those are my handful of assholes of the month. But now we're back on track. We're going into custom spotlight. Tyler, you can take it over because we're featuring some of your work.
Well, actually, well, you know what? Yeah, we get to go ahead because I don't have any assholes of the month. Does anyone else, real quick?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Wait a minute. I do have assholes of the month.
Oh boy.
And I'm not gonna name specific names, but it has to go out to these motherfucking scalpers who, like I mentioned before, are the gatekeepers to these franchises. So Black Series, great series of figures, and anybody that wants to collect Star Wars, it's like you tell folks like, hey, if you're into Star Wars and you want to collect something, Black Series is a good place. Well, you know, we've talked about the Mandalorian, and what's the hardest figure to find in the current series of Black Series? Mandalorian. Yeah, because you have dickwads that are going to the store and buying up every single one of them to put on eBay so they can fund their baby's crack addiction. You know, I was lucky, and I managed to find the Beskar armor, and I actually gave one to my girlfriend because I got her the child figure, which she'll fight me tooth and nail. She's like, "It's Baby Yoda," and I'm like, "No, it's El Nino." It said so in Spanish on the box. But
oh, that's great. I love that.
You know, the people that are buying up all the Cobra Troopers, all the Red Ninjas, all the Mighty Morphin Zordon Alpha sets, the scalpers out there who, you know, I understand, like, hey, we're in times where it's hard to have a job. Don't gatekeep somebody's hobby. Go do something fucking creative. Create dioramas. Do something. You know, help people out. Create a database. Don't buy up all the figures, because you know what you're actually doing is you're discouraging people from the hobby. There are a lot of people who are getting out of NECA because, hey, I got all the Turtles, I got Shredder, I got Splinter, I'm done. You know, you're going to buy up all the Metalheads and buy up the Caseys and Raph. People are going to be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. You know, you're going to go,
Right.
Yeah, and the other part of the whole NECA situation were some of the bots were getting them, and but I can't remember her name because I'm terrible with actor and actress names unless they're like nailed into my brain, like Ryan Reynolds because he's in cool. But my point is that the lady who played April O'Neil from the '90s TMNT movies said that she will give NECA her likeness rights if she makes enough figures available to other collectors.
And that's awesome because, like, I can't find Casey to save my life for the movie stuff. I have the animated Casey, and I'm trying to basically get a set of the Turtles, Shredder, Splinter, April, Casey, and I have foot soldiers as well. And it really sucks that you have people that are out there that are preventing you from finding figures. They're basically taking poor distribution and making it worse, and making you have to pay them because they got there before you and they had absolutely no intention of collecting this line. All they're doing is exploiting you for money and citing capitalism. That's extortion. That's shakedown. That's not capitalism. You're not providing me a service. The only service that you're doing us a disservice by taking these figures off the shelf, by preventing people who maybe wanted to get to a line, or people that are not as hardcore of collectors from actually getting into it. And I feel like Star Wars Black Series, like they've had some shaky ground because they haven't had the best character selections, and they've been unwilling to do aliens. So it's kind of like you get like same old over. But when you get stuff like the Mandalorian and Admiral Akbar and Stormtroopers, and the people are just buying up figures that people want and leaving behind the scraps. Same with Marvel Legends; they do that too.
Mhm.
Anytime there's a hot Marvel Legends figure out, those are the true assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, and it sounds like Hasbro's not willing to do aliens. I think they just prefer doing humans. It's
because they want to be able to reuse molds. So when you have a human, you can reuse the mold, you can reuse the engineering. When you do aliens, like if they were going to do like Hammerhead, they'd have to create a single mold for him, and they wouldn't be able to reuse it on other characters. And it happens with Transformers too.
Yeah, I mean, but they could use it for different types of hammerheads. Like they could make a red red clothes or hammerhead.
But then you have somebody in a boardroom who's like, well, if we just make random characters that are background aliens, how well will they sell? I think they underestimate it, but
yeah, because if they put them in the wave one per case, I think it's enough where it's like if people recognize the character and they want it, they'll grab it. But if they don't recognize it or want it, they'll leave it for someone who does want it. Because that's the same thing with the sequel trilogy figures like Rey, Zori Bliss,
Rose Tico.
Oh, Rose Tico, that's a huge example right there. But yeah, and it is technically the same for Transformers, because there's only so much you can reuse for like Optimus Prime or Bumblebee or Megatron.
Like Double Dealer is a good example. It's like what can you repaint an armored vehicle that turns into a buzzard with a giant cock? What can you turn that into?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm with you. My asshole of the month is definitely the scalpers. It's also depression because, and I'm not going to go into it, I've just been I felt it so hard that I kind of wanted to jump off the kind of upstairs section, or the second story of my mom and Sean's house, and just dive head first to the floor. That's how depressed I was.
It's somebody that suffers from suicide, or not suicide, I'll suffer from suicide or suicidal tendencies. As somebody that suffers from anxiety and depression, I will say that it is worth talking to somebody. I've never had suicidal thoughts myself, but I will say that I'm somebody that has, and I will openly say this, I'm somebody that has talked to a therapist before. I'm a big advocate for mental health, and I really think that if you're having depression like that, I think that there are, even in COVID times, there are outlets that you can use that take health insurance. I think it's always worth talking to a professional for treatment, and for those sort of things. And I would say if you're feeling depression like that, you really should look into that and talk to somebody, because opening it up and finding ways to manage your depression, because there's different types of depression. There's clinical depression, and then there's situational depression, and it really helps to figure out if you're depressed because of your current situation and bettering things there, or if you're depressed for things that are outside of your control, or both, a mixture, and learning how to manage those. So definitely, I would say if you're having thoughts like that, and not to hijack this or turn this into a ABC TGIF, the more you know sort of thing. I would say definitely look into an avenue with a professional, because it will certainly help you in the long run.
Yeah, and my mom, like, I also have anger issues. I mean, they are better than they were before, but my mom has kind of told me that she told me that she recommends that I find a therapist and everything like that. So
yeah,
I think
you can even do a counselor too. I've talked to counselors before.
Yes, I think a therapist would be better, because I tried a counselor and I'm not going to go there. But all I was asked was, "What are your goals in life?" And that got fucking old.
I guess one of the things I can tell you too from my experience is there are good counselors and there are bad counselors. There are some counselors that you can get where it's strictly a one-sided conversation, and I've fired them over that before.
One-sided stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to find somebody that's going to offer you constructive ways to manage your issues. So probably a therapist first, and then having a counselor if your issue is chronic, to help manage your manage the things in life that are causing you to feel that way. So I'm sorry to hear that's going on for you.
That's all right. I mean, it has gotten better, I will say, but because after all that, just kind of bitch slapped me across the face, to the point where it could have, if someone had literally slapped me that hard, it could have paralyzed me or killed me or something. I don't know. But after that, and I'm still working on putting myself back together, but I mean, I did do some ACBA recently with cable and everything like that, so it made me feel good. It made me feel like, okay, this is the kind of stuff I want to do. And some of it was, and I don't mean to go rambling on about this, it's just, I
think we're losing you there, Tyler. You got a lot of feedback.
Chris, that too.
Yeah.
Yes, Chris. So part of it is just the whole, no one wants to stories I like to tell or whatever, and now I'm to the point where I'm like, you know what? If they don't want to see my content because they don't like it for some reason, fuck them. I'm doing what I want, and that's what I'm going to do from now on. And I mean, I'm just going to try to, stay on that instead of being.
I think it's really healthy attitude to have, is do stuff not for your audience, but do it because you enjoy doing it. And like with my personal experiences, it's always been, it's just, hey, I'm hanging out with my friends and doing something constructive that where I can come and I can talk with like-minded individuals and shoot the shit and have fun and have a good conversation. So, do things because you enjoy it. If you're doing ACBA, do it because you enjoy the photography. Don't care. Like, that's the thing. I think people get caught up in the likes and the shares and the retweets. Even if you have none of that, do it because you enjoy posing your figures, putting them out there, posting things that you're proud of, and just at the end of the day, you've done something productive and constructive, and you've got experience from doing it. You never know. Sometimes, like, let me give a good example. And again, I hate being a mic hog here, but for those that don't know, I have a career in IT, and I do pretty good for myself. And you want to know the irony? Like, not even irony, but you want to know where all this stemmed from?
Where?
Video games. Back in the day, when you played PC games, you had to know how to navigate the back end of Windows. You had to put in DOS command prompts. Like, back in, 93, I was a kid, and I was running Doom, and I was entering in command prompts. And, pirating software and making things work. All that stuff that I did, like the hood rat internet shit I did when I was a kid, is what got my IT career going. So you never know. Taking pictures of action figures, that might actually, inspire a real career in photography, or, you never know. You never know. It could, not just photography, but cataloging items. You really never know what skills you pick up in doing something you're passionate about. In my case, like video games and piracy actually were the things that got me into IT.
Yeah, and I really like that advice, honestly. And I really, I know you say I'm a mic hog, but I really have to say the same.
Well, I mean, this is your guys' show. I don't want to be like talking over you guys and be like, these are things I did. But
speaking of photography, sorry, and again, I apologize for kind of dragging all that on, but custom spotlight. I did a Harley Quinn themed astromech droid from Star Wars, named H2Q5. Now, funny little story. This was when I was getting into DC. I saw Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn on the big screen, all that kind of jazz. Squad, and say what you will about that movie, I really enjoyed it. But basically, I didn't see the age of Harley's character, and I thought it was 25. And then apparently it was 26 or 27, depending on the multiverse. But basically, I didn't really. So I thought of 25 H2Q5, And I didn't really want to change it to H6 or H2Q7 because that kind of sounds really off to me. But yeah, and I made a kind of classic gesture style paint job for H2 where, she's wearing a wrap. It's a Harley Quinn designs, like some of the diamonds on her shoulders and ankles, and on the back section in the black area. So, and I was inspired by Rescue's drone from Endgame, to where I wanted H2 to have like this drone to act like a battle drones, and also drones to change her paint job. Because droids change the paint job, like Chopper and Rebels, to disguise themselves. So I just kind of wanted to follow those cues and be like, okay, H2 has a bigger drone that pops out of the little data panel on her body, and then between her head, between her periscope and I don't know if it's a flare launcher, a motivator, or whatever. It could be either way, or it could be either one. But between those two tools, that sensor panel on her right is where the smaller drone pops out, and then the arms kind of like extend where, if they have to go into battle, they can. If they need to repaint her, that could be a thing as well. And and a little backstory to her. Hold on, I thought I heard the. So little backstory to her. My crossover character self, Starpool, actually gives Harley this droid to help with navigation and repairs for her Delta 7B after she was recently recruited into my stealth team, which is the 295th Stealth Corps. And because, Delta 7Bs and ETA 2s need an astromech co-pilot, Starpool gives Harley this droid as a gift for, again, joining the team and, to help with starfighter stuff. It could also be repairs. So, but yeah, and then after the Clone Wars, Joker kind of trashed her and threw her in a dumpster on the streets of Gotham. So then Starpool kind of fixes her up and everything's good. So yeah, that's basically the overall character of H2Q5. She is the sister of my droid, R2SP, because and it is kind of sad when you think about it, but then again, this was when I was a teenager and I was all cringy and shit. But, I mean, myself as a crossover character being with Harley Quinn, I mean, is what it is. It's a story that I plan on keeping because I've just made so many cool stories that I really enjoy. And so yeah, H2 and SP are basically siblings. So, and they kind of have a brother and sister vibe going. So, and I think that's about it. Other than when Harley starts her own little fashion business in my little storyline. To assist her with fashion stuff after the Clone War and everything like that. So yeah, that was a lot to kind of cover, and I'm sorry if I kind of rambled and sounded like I was talking really, really fast, but I just wanted to get everything out, but at the same time keep it at a good length, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
Good length.
Alright, because I can't get rambling, so. But anyway, Quantum Avenger suits by John Hanson. Dude, your suits are amazing.
What are you gonna do? I mean, oh shit! Speaking of suits, one just fell off.
Oh shit.
I don't know if I should just turn on the camera and just show them that way, or just post. I think James does follow our Facebook group too, right, James?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, I'll just post some photos on there. But yeah, just to go a little long with these Avengers quantum suit customs. The first one I did, which I would call the Mark 1, was the male variant. So you would have the male variant of the endgame time travel suits, or the quantum realm suits, whatever you want to call it, whatever your prefer version you want to call them. So that was just basically a Civil War Ant-Man. Was just some minor modifications and the paint job, which turned out very well. Then after that was the Iron Man / War Machine variant. So that was the pretty much what I did with that one. Was just a basic repaint from a concave Iron Patriot. I was going to use it just as an Iron Patriot, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe one day I'll find a reasonably priced first release of the SH Figure Arts Iron Patriot, and I think by far that's one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite ones because just I do like Iron Man and I do like the character as a whole. And then my most recent one is the female variant, which is what I use a knockoff Wasp. And funny thing about when I got this, my girlfriend was actually stayed the night and that night, and and then I look at her, I'm like,
What that means?
I look at her, I'm like, it's me and my hobbies, and she's like, yeah, I know. So she's been very open to the whole collecting nerdy side
And
of
you've been
me.
open to the whole.
Oh my god.
Did I do a funny?
I walked myself into that one, didn't I? Oh shoot, but yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about that. They turned out pretty good, and yeah, and hopefully, it's another. I remember Tyler was talking about his whole pictures and ideas and stuff like that. I mean, I guess it goes the same with me for customs and stuff. Where people just kind of just like have no purpose or reason just to freaking fuck with you for something that you're trying to make your own, and they like, oh yeah, we can do better, and why don't you have an airbrush and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, for one,
To them, you just say, well, where's your customs?
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. And yeah, I mean, yep.
And I just want to say real quick that I do have at least 2 more paint jobs for H2 planned to make with the 1/12 scale Bandai R2 kit. The next one will be a 2 inspired paint job, which will match the the new 52 figure that I have from Amazing Young actually, and the comic art itself. And this kind of goes back to Asshole of the Month that I kind of forgot to mention, but kind of not. One of the groups I posted H2 in, this was when I was first complete with her, like fully done and everything like that. I posted about it in one of the DC groups, and they said just because it's a repaint of R2 into a different droid, they don't allow it. It's fucked up. I mean, yeah, it's a crossover character between Harley Quinn and R2-D2 technically, but I don't care. It still fucking counts. I mean, you can do canon or non-canon crossovers.
You gotta say it like Tommy Lee Jones did in The Fugitive.
I don't care. but yeah, I mean, you can do a canon or fandom crossover with DC, with Marvel, Transformers, TMNT, or whatever. It should be allowed.
You know what crossover I want? I want what? Family Matters and Transformers.
Oh, that would be funny.
Oh my god.
I want an Urkelbot that transforms into the Winslow's house, and I want it to be a city bot size. I want it to turn into a townhome.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
And I want it to have a play feature where a little human Steve figure can come in and knock all the furniture out and cause a lot of collateral damage in the Winslow home.
Oh my god. But yeah, anyway, that's just what I want to kind of add to H2. And, again, I'm very glad to have her done. I thought she was going to be a bigger pain in the ass than she actually was, and she wasn't. Thank God.
I'm glad to have her done, and I'm glad that she wasn't a bigger pain in the ass. I kid, John. I kid.
Damn. So that's just funny. I mean, if you guys said that about me and Emma, if Emma
He just unfriended me on Facebook.
Wait, what?
Oh, what?
I'm kidding.
What just happened?
He's been sexting the whole time. We're all right, ladies.
That's actually pretty accurate. Yeah.
Finger in the butt wasn't enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could go into details of my day of yesterday, but I'll leave that to your guys' imagination.
Banana.
What's that?
Does it involve a chocolate-covered banana?
No.
Does it involve scratch and sniff?
Chocolate-covered finger.
Scratch and sniff?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, so again, H2Q5 by me. Glad that she was easy. That the paint job was easy to work with. And fun fact: if you use acrylic paint, whether it's Model Master, Apple Barrel, Folk Guards, whatever, use windshield wiper fluid, and it'll thin it. It'll keep the color. It'll thin it. Expand the molecules. It's great. And then John Hanson with his custom Quantum Avenger suits are really freaking dope. And yeah, so
they were fun.
Alrighty then.
They were
So
really fun, but yeah.
So anything else we want to talk about?
Well, looking at the doc, Chris has a note here that while he was in quarantine, he was watching the Addams Family Values, and got a very awkward boner when Professor put a light bulb in his mouth.
Oh my god.
So I like to do on our podcast. I like to do like a bad movie review because because these movies are so bad, you just make fun of them, kind of like what the guys on Double Toasted do. You know, you watch a movie that's so bad, you can make fun of it and laugh at it. And let me tell you, this third Addams Family movie is just fucking garbage.
Wait,
oh my god!
Is that the animated one?
No, this is like it was like one of those straight to VHS releases.
Okay.
Oh, the one where they couldn't even get Christopher Lloyd. That's how bankrupt they were.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so bad.
Because I mean, the first and second one, they were pretty decent. Like, don't get me wrong, they were a little questionable at times, but I mean,
what was the name of the baby from the second Addams Family movie? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Like, we're gonna make up a new character.
Hubert.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Hubert?
Was that?
I'm sorry, what? There's a character named Hubert?
That's what they named the third kid in the second Addams Family movie.
Oh my god.
Christ, they should have just named him Ass Fuck Adams.
the opening of that movie was so cringe. It's like, is it a boy? Is it a girl? And Gomez is like, it's an Adams. It's like, okay, well. And then the baby has a mustache, and you're like, wait,
the sad
huh?
Part, I'm on IMDb right now. I'm seeing Angelica Houston, who I had like a crush on Wednesday when I was a kid.
Oh hell yeah!
Of course, Christina Ricci's hot, but goddamn, when did Angelica Houston turn into the Grimace from McDonald's?
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know. Ouch, my boner. That's like seriously like taking like your like your childhood crush and taking your boner and like parallel parking it right into a rat trap.
Yeah, this movie was so bad. Like, there's horrible CGI. I mean, the CGI is dated, and like, I mean, I love Tim Curry, but people are saying, "Oh, he was so good as Gomez." Like, I don't know.
Well, and that third Addams Family, man, god damn. So they just had Wild Thornberry's money for this.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I love Tim Curry, but like, no, Raul Julia, who played the other Gomez Addams, like, he is the king of playing Gomez Addams. He was.
He was great. He was amazing at the role. Like the original guy who played Gomez in the original series was an amazing actor, but the guy who played Gomez in the first and second Addams Family, he killed that role. I mean, he made it his own in his own right, just like how the original actor who played Gomez in the original series made it his own too. So I think that's why it worked so well.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I love Tim Curry, but I just feel like this wasn't his role in this third Addams Family movie. And Daryl Hannah,
Gomez,
who
Michael Skarsgård.
Yeah, I think I could see that.
Or well, I guess any of the Skarsgårds would, because there's like Bill Skarsgård, who was Pennywise.
Oh yeah.
Like Michael Skarsgård, who played God, which was the guy that played Hannibal?
Liam Neeson or Anthony Hopkins?
No. Actually, I'm not even thinking of a Skarsgård. It was Mads Mikkelsen is who I'm thinking of.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He make an awesome Gomez.
Yeah, fucking Casino Royale. Fuck yeah. Yeah, he would. I could totally see him doing that. But Daryl Hannah in this third one, she didn't look like Morticia. She looked like a fucking alien from Men in Black.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, like, that's the thing about like the early 2000s direct to DVD movies. They were all like the great value versions.
Yep.
Of the characters.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh my god, this movie is this Addams Family movie is just so horrible. Like, oh my god. Like, just shitty acting, of course, and like at one point in the movie there's like the dumbest married couple to ever exist on Earth trapped in the Addams Family house. It's like, no, you can't be this fucking stupid. At this point, you deserve to die. Like, whatever happens to you in their mansion, you deserve it because you're that fucking stupid.
Right.
Did he win the ESP of the Month award from Iowa? Is that like the vehicle that got in the Addams Family household? You want a trip to a fancy mansion? Well, I like crack, and I'm also kind of stable.
Oh, this is a pretty cool place you got. You got any crack?
Yeah. The Addams Family Manor is on a pond. They got catfish.
Hey, you all got any plastic crack?
Yeah. There aren't cracks in the foundation. I'm gonna be there.
Yep. You got a crack. You got a crack cake.
He like saw a picture of Uncle Fester and was like, that was like a goth version of Eric. I could fuck it.
Oh my god.
That's too great.
That is good.
Oh.
Well, guys, I actually do have to run. I have to pick up a pizza. My girlfriend just texted me. I am dying. Cool, because I'm dying in the fetal position, dying of starvation. It's 9:39 East Coast time, and we haven't had dinner yet. So it's been fun. So, but I have to run to Little Caesars and get our hot and ready for diarrhea pizza.
If you want to be mad at somebody, just tell her to blame us.
I will. And then I'll blame the explosive diarrhea on Little Caesars brand of their brand of mozzarella cheese.
Oh, shit.
It's been hopefully, I get invited back like I did on the original TKO podcast before I killed it.
Yeah, that podcast is pretty much dead, and I guess we will still remember the good times that we had on it, though. But
what is Scott and TKO have in common?
What?
what's that?
And what does Scott and TKO have in common?
Oh God, I don't know what.
Oh no.
Oh
What did you say?
wow.
I said, what do Scott and TKO have in common?
I don't know what.
They're both dead, and he never got to be a guest.
Oh,
Burn, dead guy burn. That's fun to burn.
that's like
So
scalded.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I need to talk like his brother into like uploading like all the old clips so you can get like awkward footage of Scott and just like set a montage of the song "Don't Think It's Over" by Crowded House.
Oh, that'd be something.
And my Siri's going crazy now. Well, anyway, guys, it's been fun. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for having. We're glad to have you on, James.
John, hopefully nothing prematurely is happening to you. And that's a sex life joke.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be lucky if I get laid tonight. So
I'll be lucky if I get laid at all. I'm just saying.
You'll get laid.
Yeah, when I'm 40?
Emma's gonna walk in your room just with her top down, and all of a sudden she's like, guess what? You're losing your V card tonight, baby.
Honestly, I
just
kind of
look her in the eyes and say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
well,
And then she says, what kind of shots? You look her in the eye, you wink, and you say, semen.
give me the meanest look ever. Because here's the thing, like, and this is her choice. She would rather wait till marriage, and honestly,
What is she, Mormon?
I don't know. I mean, she's Christian, so
I'm going to keep my mouth shut on.
Hey, be like, look. There's something called anal, and technically, if we do that, you get to keep your virginity.
Try the hot doggy style.
Okay.
But see, really and truly, I mean, if that's, I don't know if she's just saying that or what, because she and I, granted, she's hanging with friends.
You got to do like the thing is, the thing I've always found that I know I got to get going.
Yeah.
But you make out with a chick, you finger her, and then you get her so worked up, you're gonna fuck.
Oh, believe me, I know how that is.
You know, that's always been my method. Make out, finger, fuck. Because if you're like, it's like basically if you get to the stage, you get like a finger in there, and then you're like, oh well, I guess I better keep my pants on and go home. She's gonna be like, wait, my vagina wants stuff now. And even I'm domesticated. I mean, like Lex and I were domestic partners, but like when and not to give too much of our information away, but it's like when I want something, I get a finger in there, and it's like stuff's gonna happen because she's not gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go to sleep now. No, you ain't.
Yeah, boy.
And seriously, that's how you do it. It's the 3-prong approach: make out, finger, and fuck. Because she's not going to be like, it's basically like, this finger, it's so small. I wonder what his wiener's like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the word for it. But
on that note, my order has been loaded into the pizza portal, trademark. So I'm going to go to Little Caesars.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's going to be late and everything, so go ahead and go, and we'll wrap up the show. So,
let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up like John did the other night. All right, I will catch you guys later. Hopefully, I get an invite back here.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to come back.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too, James. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Okay. But just kind of to, I mean, John, I told you, and I don't want to get too big into this because Emma and I are probably fine. It's just I'm probably overthinking it, and I probably have separations anxiety and all that kind of jazz, and that's probably why, I'm so worried about her, and she's just hanging out with friends the past pretty much weeks. So, because I mean, I do want her to see her friends. It's not that I don't want her to see her friends. It's just I kind of wish she kind of gave me some better clarification of when she was going to do that, on what days, everything like that. So
it's all about communication. But yeah, other words,
jazz.
yeah. But in other words, we want to take us out, Tyler.
Yeah. So this has been episode. Huh?
Episode 2.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so this has been episode 2 of the F Team podcast. Mr. Jordan is already gone, but tune in next week and we'll see what happens. What kind of news we get in, what kind of costumes we want to show off, all that fun jazz here. And so I mean, I don't know how else to end it. So,
and how much plastic crack we're going to end up buying, let's say in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or next month.
Sure.
Yeah, it's gonna go down.
Episode 2, Attack of the Blue Balls.
Actually, that sounds like a good idea for an episode.
Attack of the Blue Balls.
Episode 3, Attack of the Blue Balls. I like it. We'll do that. So, this is John Hanson. About to sign off here. Anyone else want to say one more thing before we cut it out? And I mean, and Tyler, you did a good job tonight. You got to work on. You talk a lot, bud, but we'll work on that.
I do need to work on rambling because I am a rambler. I don't know why. It just happens. Okay.
All right.
The one thing I do want to say one more thing before we end it, though. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Peener.
Dan, say it. Yes, you did. All right.
Yes.
All right. We are